With all the item changes for Season 14, there have been so many new OP builds popping up, and we're going to be sharing 10 of them with you guys in today's video. Also, we're excited to announce we've done a massive update, adding all brand new courses for Season 14 on our website, SkillCapped.com. And if that's not enough, we upload 10 new Smurf commentaries every week where a challenger teaches you how to play every champion in the exact rank you're stuck in. The best part? You can try all this out completely risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted in Season 14. Although Bruiser Aatrox is most popular at the moment, Lethality Aatrox is making a comeback and winning at an incredible rate. With this build, it heavily rewards landing every single Q, as you've got the potential to 3-shot squishies if all of them land. You're going to start off the build by rushing Profane Hydra. Hydra is going to amplify the all-in burst power of Aatrox and also provide him with some instant shoving power. Second item will be Edge of Night, as the added health combined with the passive shield adds a bit of durability so that you're not extremely squishy. However, you're still getting to lethality and AD, which is really nice. Rounding out the core is Sorilda's Grudge. The armor pen you get from Grudge now scales with lethality in Season 14, so it's best slotted in third after you've completed 2 lethality items. Some Season 13 builds revolved around building Sorilda's second, but it's much better value in the third slot now. For the rune page, take Conqueror as the keystone rune with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Second Wind and Revitalize are for secondaries. Garen's 2-item core is going to become a lot more bursty in 14.3, with Ride adding the damage back onto the Stridebreaker active. In Season 13, both Stridebreaker and Trinity Force were mythic items, which meant you were never able to build them together in the same game. With that mythic limitation being removed for Season 14, Stride with Trinity is a great 2-item core for Garen. You just have so much upfront burst power with the Sheen proc from Trinity, and now with the damage proc going back on Stridebreaker. Bursting out a squishy target with just one rotation of spells has never been easier with Garen. Routing out the core build will be Deadman's Plate, as this 3-item core comes together very nicely. You just have so much movement speed and sticking power from this core that it really alleviates Garen's weakness of lacking a gap closer. To make Garen even more slippery, it's going to be Phase Rush for the Keystone Rune. Especially since Garen's W has been buffed in 14.2 to where the damage reduction lasts for 4 seconds early on, running Phase Rush makes it nearly impossible for the enemy to trade back against you in lane, as you just dip in, take a short trade, and dive right out. There's a new lethality build that's looking super broken on Kayn, and it does not include Ghostblade or Axiom Arc. Despite Ghostblade being the most popular rush item on Kayn, you've got to try swapping it out for Hubris. Hubris is just such a great solo queue item right now because of the snowball mechanic built into the item. The more kills you acquire, the more AD you'll be stacking from Hubris, and the easier it will be to one-shot squishies. For the ultimate bursty 2-item core, it's going to be Profane Hydra as your second pickup. The active from Profane Hydra adds a nice layer of burst to Kayn's full combo and makes finding those catch plays on squishy targets a little easier. Rounding out the core build is a Sorilda's Grudge, as once you got those 2 lethality items completed, the value from Grudge is quite high. Rune page to go alongside this build consists of Dark Harvest with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Treasure Hunter. Run Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. The standard Season 13 build on Evelynn saw her going Rocket Belt into Rabadon's, but that has all changed for Season 14. Drop Rocket Belt, drop Storm Surge, and start running Lichbane as your rush item on Evelynn. Ride increased the AP on Lichbane by 15 for Season 14, but only increased the cost of the item by 100 gold. 15 AP is worth about 300 gold, so you basically just got 200 gold worth of stats for free added onto Lichbane. As if Evelynn's one-shot power wasn't already super nasty, the Lichbane proc when you have Rabadon's completed absolutely melts. There's a 50% AP ratio on the Spellblade passive damage from Lichbane, so once you complete Rabadon's, the burst is just not even fair. So Lichbane and Rabadon's are your 2 core items with Evelynn. However, in games where you're snowballing, Mage Eyes is almost always a great pickup. The best rune page is Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter, followed by Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm for secondaries. This new mid-lane Vel'Koz build has been popping up over the past patch, and full credit goes to Azap, who pioneered the setup as one of the best Vel'Koz players in the world. The build is completely different than anything you would expect on Vel'Koz, as it's an AP off-tank setup. Build becomes even stronger for 14.3 as well, which is why we wanted to cover it, as the first 2 core items of the setup are buffed. Rush item is Rod of Ages, and then your second pickup is Archangels. From then on out, it's entirely dependent on what the enemy comp's main damage source is. If the enemy comp is full AD, then picking up a Frozen Heart works amazing. Against a full AP enemy comp, Kainic Rookern is the perfect pickup. If they're more mixed damage, you can go Jock Show. If you really don't feel very vulnerable because the enemy comp is low range and has a hard time getting onto you, building Riftmaker as a more offensive option is viable too. The whole idea behind the build is that you become way more difficult to kill, but the damage is still very respectable due to the high base damage and true damage that Vel'Koz's kit provides. Your main issue with Vel'Koz in most games is dying to dive champions due to your lack of gap closer, and this setup heavily alleviates that weakness. It's important you run the correct starting items and summon summoner spells as well. Summoners are Ghost with Teleport, and you want to start the game with Mana Crystal and Refillable Potion. You want to reach your Rod Spike as soon as possible, so by starting Mana Crystal, it helps you build into it much faster. Inspiration Tree will help you hit those spikes even quicker, as you will be running First Strike for the Keystone Rune with Magical Footwear, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Second Wind and Overgrowth. It's no secret that Lichbane has been a staple item on Echo for a long time now, however, it's generally always been a second purchase. That has all changed in Season 14, as a Lichbane Rush has become meta on Echo mid lane. As we mentioned when covering Evelynn with the Lichbane Rush, the item is just way more gold efficient for Season 14, and it's made rushing the item super valuable. Now, you might be thinking, well, if I'm going Lichbane first, does that mean I'm just delaying Rocket Belt until my second purchase? Not at all, as you're completely dropping Rocket Belt from the core build entirely. Nashor's Tooth is the second item in your build path, and it ties together super nicely with Lichbane, as you have so much on-hit damage that adds to your straight-up burst power from E. Rounding out the core build is a Rabadon's, as your one-shot strength just goes completely nuclear on this purchase. The rune page you want to run with this build consists of Hail of Blades with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter. Best secondaries are Absolute Focus and Scorch. If you guys want to learn more about this build, we actually have a full game commentary from our challenger player Hector on our website, where he's playing this exact setup. On-hit Twisted Fate bot lane is actually legit right now, and it's even getting a boost for 14.3. If you guys have been living under a rock the past while, TF saw some buffs in 14.2 that increased his crit scaling, and he was also given some added AD ratios. As a result, on-hit build have been popping up on Twisted Fate bot lane and actually seeing really good success. Kraken Slayer Rush is the most popular right now, and it works really nicely in tandem with TF's E, so that you get a nice chunk of burst every 3 autos. Rage Blade is going to be the second pickup, and this is where the build actually becomes stronger for this patch, because Riot's increasing the AP and AD on Rage Blade. Rounding out the 3-item core is of course Rapid Fire Cannon, as it has way too much value on TF to pass up on being able to extend the range of his W. For the rune page, look to try out Press the Attack as the Keystone Rune. It's a bit less popular than Fleet or Lethal Tempo, however it's winning much more and is quite underrated. An item that becomes a lot more valuable for Jhin in 14.3, and what a lot of pros have already been rushing in solo queue, is Hubris. We covered Hubris Draven last patch, and Jhin is another champ you really want to be taking advantage of it on. The earlier you grab Hubris, the better, as you'll be able to acquire a bunch of bonus AD from the item and begin hitting really hard in the mid to late game. Double Lift is one notable who has been rushing Hubris in solo queue, and because of the nerfs to Ghostblade for ranged champions in 14.3, there's even more incentive to prioritize Hubris. After rushing the Hubris, it's going to be the Collector as your second pickup. Third item is a Rapid Fire Cannon, which is pretty standard for Jhin regardless of if you're playing Lethality or Crit. For the rune page, you want to be running Dark Harvest with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, and Treasure Hunter. Optimal secondaries are Presence of Mind and Coup de Grace. We've covered Camille's support a little bit in the past, highlighting the champion in one of our off-meta videos, and the pick has become even better for Season 14. The Bloodsong support upgrade just adds another layer to Camille's catch power and makes the champion extremely powerful. Not only do you get more burst yourself by running the upgrade, but you amplify your teammates' damage as well, which makes capitalizing on catch plays super free. The first core item you'll want to be building into with Camille's support is Sundered Sky. Some nice upfront burst from the Sundered Sky passive, along with added durability, which is vital for Camille since she wants to be diving into fights. After building Sundered Sky, it's going to be Sterix as your second pickup so that you have even more durability in those team fights. The rune page is really where everything comes together, as you should be taking Hail of Blades for the Keystone Rune. Hail of Blades gives Camille those quick autos so that when she finds a stun with her E, the follow-up damage is immediate and she can get a good chunk off while the enemy is still stunned. The early game all-in power of Camille with Hail of Blades is super nuts, and it's a big reason to why she can be so powerful. An item that has become a really great rush option for Rel in Season 14 is Zeke's Convergence. Zeke's was pretty standard on Rel in Season 13 as a second pickup, but rushing the item is extremely powerful now. With the new Zeke's, whenever you pop your ultimate, Zeke's passive provides you with 50 magic damage per second over 5 seconds. So in total, you can get 250 damage off from Zeke's alone, which is absolutely nuts on someone like Rel, who can lock an enemy down for multiple seconds without a problem. So much of Rel's strength comes from her skirmish power when ultimate is available, so rushing an item like Zeke's is absolutely perfect. You don't have to rely as heavily on your ADC to follow up and deal damage, since you're going to be outputting a considerable amount yourself. Second item in the build is pretty situational, as Frozen Heart, Knight's Vow, Trailblazer, and Canic Rookern are all viable options. For the rune page on Rel, both Aftershock and Glacial Augment are viable Keystone runes. If you want more tankiness, you can go Aftershock, but if you feel you'll be durable enough, you can go Glacial for more sticking power. If you truly want to improve and rank up fast, head on over to SkillCapped.com. We just finished a massive update adding all brand new courses for Season 14. We even upload 10 new Smurf commentaries each week, where a challenger teaches you how to play every champion in the exact rank you're stuck in. And remember, you can try all this out risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted this season. So there you have it, guys. 10 new builds that are extremely powerful for 14.3 that you can take advantage of for solo queue. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.